Excellent. Welcome to the second game of Novi's live stream event for June. I'm your game master, Nathan. With me this afternoon / evening, wherever you are, I have Nova,
Heyo.
Izzie,
Hi.
and for the first time on the Novi Studio stage, Kim.
Hello.
Thank you all for joining us for this live stream event. We are going to be playing Lady Blackbird by John Harper. So this is a fun little game that I found a few days ago. It's been out for a while. You can find it on their itch.io page. We'll have a link in the description to get over to that. In case you like this game, you want to give it a go for yourself around your table. But without further ado, I guess we'll kind of just jump in and play some Lady Blackbird. So this is a micro RPG, Tales from the Wild Blue Yonder, Chapter 1. I'll read the description from the first page. Lady Blackbird is on the run from an arranged marriage to Count Carlo. She hired a smuggler skyship, the Owl, to take her from her palace on the imperial world of Elysium to the far reaches of the Remnants, so she could be with her once secret lover, the pirate king, Uriah Flint. However, just before reaching the halfway point of Haven, the Owl was pursued and captured by the imperial cruiser Hand of Sorrow, under charges of flying a false flag. Even now, Lady Blackbird, her bodyguard, and the crew of the Owl are detained in the brig, while the commander of the cruiser, Captain Hollis, runs the smuggler ship's registry over the wireless. It's only a matter of time before they discover the outstanding warrants and learn that the Owl is owned by none other than the infamous outcast, Cyrus Vance. So, sets the stage a little bit. So the world of Lady Blackbird, it's called the Wild Blue. It's a bunch of shattered worlds that are circling a dimming star. So the cool thing about that, the blue itself, the Wild Blue, is that these worlds are adrift in a sky of breathable gases. So it's very much like an atmosphere around this cold star. So that's what enables these steampunk vessels to go wild distances in space, but it's not space, it's the wild blue sci-fi. So there are a few different parts of the wild blue that we will cover as you all get to them, if you get to them, if that's where you want to go. All of our players here had a chance to kind of peruse that information to have a little bit of background knowledge on the world itself. So as we get to it, we can explore a little more. But one of the things about Lady Blackbird, this RPG, is that there are pre-generated characters. So there are a few characters that each of you could play, should you choose. I'll go through all of them and give a brief description, and you all have access to the character sheets for those characters as well, and we'll figure out who wants to be who. And anyone who you all don't play, I'll play the rest of them. I'm a DM. I can do that, right? So first and foremost, we have the titular Lady Blackbird, or Natasha Suri. She is an imperial noble in disguise, escaping an arranged marriage so that she can be with her lover. And she is a sorceress, master sorceress, which comes into play when we get to the game mechanics. We have Naomi Bishop, who is the former pit fighter and bodyguard to Lady Blackbird. We have Cyrus Vance, who is an ex-imperial soldier turned smuggler and soldier of fortune. Is also the captain of the Owl. We have Cale Arkham, a burglar and petty sorcerer, first mate and mechanic of the Owl. We've got Snargle, the goblin sky sailor and pilot of the Owl. And those are the choices that you've got for characters. So everyone roll a d6 for me. That's how we'll figure this out. We'll have a good dice roll.
2. 4.
All right, Nova, you rolled highest, so who would you like to be? Each one of these characters has specific traits and keys and secrets that are associated with them as well, that we'll get into a little bit more in depth in a little bit. But so, for instance, Lady Blackbird has the traits. She's an Imperial Noble, so she is proficient in etiquette, dance, education, history, science, wealth, connections, and anything that has to do with House Blackbird. So when you do anything that associates with one of your traits, so long as it's not one of the bracketed traits, those you have to buy later. If you try and do something with one of those traits, you pretty much automatically succeed, is how that's going to work when you're looking at the trait section of the character sheet. But those bracketed tags is what they're called. The tags are things that you can buy later as you act more like your character. So as we progress through the game, you'll gain experience and you will gain the ability to buy those tags should you want to get more of those.
Okay. I would like to be Cale Arkham.
Okay.
The burglar and petty sorcerer. First mate and mechanic.
Perfect. Izzie, you rolled next highest. Do you know who you'd like to be?
I'm going to play Snargle.
Oh, damn it!
Oh, I'm sorry. No. Do you want? I'll switch with it.
No. It's
sure?
fine. You can be Snargle. Yeah.
I was really hoping I would get to be Snargle.
We all want to be Snargle.
That's it. We're not playing Lady Blackbird anymore.
We're all
Lady
Snargle.
We're playing Lady Snargle with Snargle Arkham.
Yes.
Snargle Vance. I will be Naomi Bishop then.
Excellent.
Izzie.
Perfect. Okay, so I've got all of that down. So I kind of touched on a little bit. So the traits that you have for your character, you can, if you any of the non-bracketed traits, you automatically succeed at. The keys that you have. So, for instance, we'll go with Lady Blackbird again because I get to be Lady Blackbird. So there are specific things you can do. So it's called hitting a key. This is how you kind of advance. You become more proficient with your character, basically. So when you, quote, hit a key, you can do one of two things. You can take an experience point, or you can add a dice to your dice pool, which will... Let's move over to rolling dice first. So I talked about the traits. You can pretty much succeed at any of those. So when you try to overcome an obstacle, however, you're going to have to roll dice. And you'll start with 1, and you're going to add a die if you have a trait that could help you in that obstacle. If you have a trait that has many tags that could apply to that, you'll add another die from your dice pool for each one of those tags that apply. So, for instance, we're doing something with Lady Blackbird. She's trying to get information on Captain Hollis, who's the captain of the Hand of Sorrow, the Imperial ship, and she's looking for information on him. So she's going to use, she's racking her brain for information, but she's going to use her Imperial Noble traits. So she's going to use her education, history, and connections to add 3 dice to her dice pool for this roll. And so with the automatic 1 that you get for any obstacle you would do, add those 3 tags from Imperial Noble. She's going to try and find out as much information that she can recall about Captain Hollis for rolling 4 die. And your dice pool starts with 7 die. So when you roll your die, you're going to, in order to succeed in a task or an obstacle, you have to roll a 4 or higher on a certain number of those die. So let's say that this was a difficult challenge for Lady Blackbird to try and recall information about Captain Hollis. That would mean that she has to get 3 hits of her 4 dice that she's rolling. So if that were the case, she has to roll above 4. I only got 2. 2 of my d6s were above a 4. So that is a failure. So if I don't pass, I don't yet achieve my goal. However, I do get to keep the pool of dice I just rolled, and I get to add another die to my pool. So my pool goes from 7 to 8, and that can help me in the future. However, the situation that the obstacle presented is going to escalate in some way. If I rolled those 4 die and I hit all 4 of those, all 4 were above a 4, I passed. And so I discard all of those dice that I just rolled. And so those are now out of my dice pool. I've only got 3 dice remaining. However, I can get more die added to my dice pool in other ways. And so that's where the hitting the keys comes into play. So when you hit a key, you can do one of 2 things. Take an experience point that you can add up to earn an advance to unlock traits or to gain other keys or learn secrets. So you have to get to 5 experience points in order to earn an advance. And so whenever I hit a key for Lady Blackbird, she's the key of the Paragon. So as a noble, you're a cut above the common man. Hit your key when you demonstrate your superiority or when your noble traits overcome a problem. And so in that instance, if I overcame that obstacle by using only my imperial noble traits, well, yes, of course, I remember Captain Hollis. He's just a filthy man, and he's done this and this and this, and that key of Paragon's going to hit, and I'll say that in that instance, I would gain experience and add die to my pool. I'm the GM, so I'm not going to be doing that. That's for you all, but as an example, that's how that would go. On the flip side, if you go into danger because of your key, so this is kind of like a nice little treat for, that's what my character would do. So if you go into danger because of your key, you get 2 experience, or you gain 2 pool dice, or 1 of each. And so that's how you can more quickly kind of get to that 5 XP in order to earn an advance and learn more things. So each of your characters has 3 keys as a default and 2 secrets. The secrets let you do specific things that only your character can do. So Lady Blackbird is a sorceress, and she can do sorcery, and she's got the secret of inner focus. So once per session, I could choose to re-roll a failure when doing a sorcery. So I didn't do so hot this time, but you know what? I'm going to dig deep, and I'm a master sorceress, and I'm going to try again. And so I can do that as one of my secrets. So that's how all of the basic mechanics of the game works. If you find yourself in a situation where you have no dice pool left, you can do what is called a refreshment scene. And so that can be a flashback. It can be, a situation where you're kind of sitting back and reflecting on your past or anything like that. And that is in order to refresh your pool back up to 7. So you can have a refreshment scene with another character. You can also use that to remove a condition or regain the use of a secret, depending on the details of the scene. So the refreshment scene is a good time to ask questions so the other players can show off aspects of their PC. Why did you choose this life? What do you think of Lady Blackbird? Why did you take this job? Which brings us to conditions. So when the events warrant, or especially when you fail a roll, I can impose a condition on your character that is relevant to that challenge that was not overcome. And the conditions are injured, dead, rough, tired, angry, lost, hunted, or trapped. And so when you take a condition, I'll mark it off so that I'm aware of that condition for future rolls. Excuse me. So dead is a condition that it means presumed dead unless you say otherwise. So that might be something you want to keep hidden from those who are tracking you. As well as those conditions, you can also help other characters. So if your character is in a position to help another character, you can give them a die from your pool, and you can say what your character does to help. If the roll fails, you get your die pool back. If it succeeds, your die is lost. So you can only help up to one die at a time. And it's the same rules as the pass and fail if you are the one doing the challenge itself. Goodness. That was a lot of talking. I'm sorry, I need to drink some water. So are there any questions about the rules so far?
Yes, can you hold my hand through the entire thing, please?
Absolutely. This is. I think this is one of those games. It's really gonna be more apparent how it plays as we get into the situations. John Harper also did Lasers and Feelings, so this is the same designer that did Lasers and Feelings. So if you've ever played that, it's very. It can be intimidating jumping in. Excuse me. But once you're in, it starts making sense, and it's start having a good time. So, if there are no other questions, we can get you where you all are. After I cough some more. Hold on. Get it all out. So, you all are in the brig, unfortunately, of the Hand of Sorrow. You have been detained, and you've been left in the brig for a while. It's been hours now since the Hand of Sorrow apprehended the owl, and the captain came down and told you what he was doing. I know who you are, Lady Blackbird. We're going to be running all this ship's registry of the wireless, and we're gonna get you back to the Imperium. I understand there's a wedding. Excuse me, I got a cold. So, it's been, let's say, 3 hours since that interaction took place. You know that casting the information out over the wireless takes some time, and so you've had some time to think. You've had some time to talk. Let's just we'll start with Lady Blackbird. She's morose, sitting on one of the benches of the brig, and she hasn't talked since Captain Hollis came down, and she's pouting. And so, Naomi, you're sitting next to Lady Blackbird, and you've never seen her like this before. This is, usually she always knows what to do. She always has a plan. And, she doesn't seem like she's on her game today. How does that make you feel?
Naomi's going to be pretty concerned. She's giving off an outward appearance of disinterest, sort of like arms crossed, eyes kind of closed, but very attentive despite that, and sort of sneaking glances just to the side. checking in every now and then, just a nudge, or you alright?
It seems like Lady Blackbird's just ignoring you. She's really in it deep right now. I think she every time you nudge her, she kind of scoots away a little bit. Which is that something uncommon that she would do to you? That she would kind of snuff you like that?
Yeah. It seems like it's not something that Naomi's used to. She's definitely spent a lot of time kind of in close company with Lady Blackbird and doesn't really understand this mood and where it's come from. But kind of given Naomi's background, she doesn't really know how to break this emotional sort of wall that's gone up either. Like, she's very much used to acting with her fists, acting with brute force. The nuances of conversation seem a little bit out of grasp for Naomi.
Yeah, that's fair. Naomi being a former pit fighter, she likes to solve problems with her fists, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing to fight here. Is it, how is Naomi feeling about all this?
She's really trying to keep everything like she's cool, she's under control, but anybody looking closely can kind of see like the muscles in her arms are kind of twitching as she like clenches and unclenches, kind of like with this crossed sort of thing. And she's going to be trying to figure out, okay, how can we actually get out of here? What can I do? It's been a long time. Patience is wearing thin.
Yeah, for sure. So let's roll some dice. This is, something that you feel this need to protect Lady Blackbird, and you want to get out as soon as possible. So let's where is your head at right now?
She's slowly getting more and more frustrated. That kind of temper that she kind of has been working to keep under control as she works for Lady Blackbird and tries to sort of keep up appearances for her sake is like slowly fizzing.
Yeah.
And she's getting ready to kind of crack some skulls.
As you're thinking about all of this and the rage is starting to boil up, I'm going to tap into one of your traits here. Your keen trait. You're very insightful and aware, and you notice that as you've been trapped in the cell longer and longer, you see that the door itself doesn't seem to be very stable. You see that the door of the brig is something that you might be able to just pop off its hinges. You know it would be loud if you did that, but you think that it is something that could be done.
She's gonna try speaking to Lady Blackbird one last time and be like, "Are you ready to get out of here?"
What's the use? They're just going to send us back to the Imperium, and I'm going to have to go through with that marriage. I can't do that. You know that.
I'm not going to let that happen. Kind of does like those elaborate like knuckle cracks, neck crack.
For the first time since you've been in the brig, Lady Blackbird looks you in the eyes and she says to you, "I know you won't, but there's just nothing we can do."
Naomi's gonna do like that slow, like frustrated take a deep breath. I'm gonna open this door.
So do it then.
I'm gonna take a good swing at the door.
Okay, you swing at the door. It pretty much flies right off its hinges. It really was not on there securely. I'm going to say that you hit your key of the Guardian on that one, so you are Lady Blackbird's loyal defender, and you made a decision influenced by Lady Blackbird. So you gain 1 experience, or you can add a die to your dice pool.
I will take an experience point.
Okay. Sweet. So, Kale and Snargle, what have you been doing this whole time?
We in the same cell?
You all are all in the same cell.
Yeah. Cool.
So you've seen that Naomi and Lady Blackbird have been having a conversation in hushed tones, and then all of a sudden the door flies off the hinges at the break. You all are shipmates on the same ship, and I imagine that. Were you all keeping to yourselves, or are you, have you gotten close to Lady Blackbird and Naomi in the time that you've been together? Before you were apprehended by Haven.
Snargle has tried. I don't know how successful it's been.
What have you tried so far, Snargle?
Being a fun, cool pal. Man, I'm trying to cheer them up. Nah, they haven't been feeling so hot.
Yeah. So you've been trying to distract them then from the situation that they're in?
Yeah. They have... since they've been in prison, it's just been, no sitting still, just, making noises with the bars back and forth and changing shape all around.
Yeah.
The lively corner.
So, Naomi and Kale, has that helped in the time that you've been here? Snargle's attempts to cheer you all up?
Naomi's, she's been keeping kind of any amusement hidden, but any annoyance very clear on her face. It's like the bar tapping and stuff, it's just a bit of side eye, eye rolls. Nudging Lady Blackbird, have you seen this?
Kale is amused by this, and at some points goes, hit that one again. That one sounded like it would make a good musical pattern, and Snargle would hit it in the necessary sequence. And I'd go, no, that one, and we would try and make a tune together.
Gotcha. So Snargle, I'll say that you hit your key of banter on that, so you can take a die or an experience point if you'd like.
That's 2 die? Does it start with 1 at default?
Your dice pool is at 7, so you can increase your die pool to 8, or you can add your experience point so that you can get another trait, key, or secret.
Okay.
So whatever you want to do. I guess I should say what Cyrus is doing as well. Cyrus appears to be taking a nap. It looks like this is something that Cyrus has dealt with before. He doesn't have a care in the world right now. So with the the noise that Snargle has been making and the door breaking off the hinges of the brig, I'm going to say that remarkably, when the door flies off the hinges, no guards come to investigate because there has been so much noise coming from the brig anyway.
Yeah. You're just had enough.
They're just, get me away from here. It's so loud. Can't deal with these prisoners. And so you kind of sneak around. You're looking down the hallways and no one's coming. There is a guard posted up at the end of the hallway, but they haven't turned to look or anything. What are you all doing? Are you immediately leaving? Are you hanging around to see what's going on?
Naomi's gonna
go for it.
Naomi's gonna look back at Lady Blackbird and be like, sort of motion through the empty door.
She pulls her skirts up and she says, "Well, let's go then. Are you all coming?" And at this point, Cyrus. Yes, of course, I'm coming. Yes. Okay. Good job, bodyguard.
Thank you.
Naomi?
Sleeping man.
I'm your captain. That's right, I'm Cyrus. I knew we'd get out of here. Great job.
Thanks
Let's
for
go.
all your help.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure. Let's go.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say Cyrus is leading the way down the hallway. He is jaunty and acting like he owns the place.
Okay, perfect. How far away is this guard, and is Cyrus heading directly for them?
The guard is at the end of the hallway, about 20 feet away from where Cyrus currently is. Hallway is about 40 feet long, let's say.
Okay. And is Cyrus heading directly for him?
Jauntily.
Oh my.
Yes.
All right. Can I use... can I use like I don't know, a sneak and a trap trait to like see if I can incapacitate this guard somehow, trap them
before Cyrus gets there?
Yeah. Because I am dexterous.
So you're going to try and use your burglar traits to sneak and trap?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say that you can... So you'll have one because you're trying to overcome an obstacle. I'm going to say this is going to be a challenging obstacle, so you're going to have to roll 4 hits here. But you can use, from your burglar traits, quiet, sneak, dexterous, perceptive, or traps. Any one of those 5 or up to 5 to add to your 1. So you can have a pool of up to 6. But if you succeed, you'll lose all 6 of those die and you only have 1 in your dice pool. But that's the option for you here.
Oof. Is it possible to use a key right now?
You have to hit your key, so you have to do something specific in order for the key to hit.
All right. I'm going to use 2d6.
To try and get 4 successes?
Well, how does that...
So you have to get a success by rolling a 4 or higher in order to pass an obstacle. So for this obstacle, this is going to be a challenging obstacle, so there you have to get 4 successes.
So I would need to roll 2d6 4 times and get above a 4 each time.
You would need to use at least 4 of your die to try and get 4 successes. So you use them from your dice pool. So you've got a dice pool of 7. You automatically get 1 die that isn't included from your dice pool. And then any other die you want to use on top of that one that you have, you can use those die from your traits. So that's why I said you can use quiet, sneak, dexterous, perceptive, or traps as your 5 traits if you're doing your burglar to try and distract this guard in some way.
How do we get those dice back? Is it by hitting keys? Right?
Yeah, when you hit your key, you can add dice back to your pool. If you get into danger because of your key, you can add 2 dice back to your pool. And those are the only ways that you can regain die. Or you can do a refreshment scene. Sorry, that's the last way. So you can do a scene with another player, and you can refresh all of your die.
Okay, so I think it'll make sense to do 46 then.
Okay. So you're gonna use 4 from your pool plus the 1 that you get automatically.
So then that'd be 5d6, right?
Yeah. And 4 of those have to hit. Also, if you fail, you gain a die.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all failures.
Oh, okay. Well, congratulations. Your dice pool is now up to 8. How did you fail?
Do I say the numbers and then you make it up, or do I just say how I fail?
No, you can just say how you fail. That works. What were you trying to do specifically, and how did it backfire?
I noticed that Captain Vance has done this before. And I tried to sneak past the captain, but the captain puts their arm out and stops me in my tracks and goes, "Excuse me, I've got this under control."
Kale, get out of the way. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's...
And you trying to sneak by, and the captain says, Kale, get out of the way. I know what I'm doing. At that, the guard turns around, says, wait. Oh, the prisoners are loose. I've got to go. I've got to go. And you see them now running down the hallway. It looks like they're going for an alarm. And so Kale and Cyrus, you can both see this. As everyone else catches up, you also see this happening as well. So you can try and stop this guard, or let them do what they want to do. Sorry, I will say where you are right now, you don't know where the owl is being held.
Okay. Naomi's gonna sprint to stop that guard from ringing the alarm.
All right. So this is going to be a difficulty of 3. So what? How many die are you going to use?
I want to use fast from my pit fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Disarm, I guess.
Yep.
And run.
Well, okay. So that's 4 total die you can roll.
Yep.
If you succeed, you lose 3 from your pool.
Is there any chance that I could aid this with something? Yeah.
You could give a die to help, and then if it succeeds, then you would lose that die.
Okay. I'll give a die to help.
Okay. What ability are you using?
The dark spell on the alarm.
Okay.
So that they can't find it.
Cool. So you've got 5 die to roll. Got to get 3 successes.
Awesome. 5 die to roll. I got 1 success.
Ooh, okay.
No.
Oh my god, that was good ones.
So unfortunately, in this instance, Naomi, you start running down the hallway to try and knock this guard out, disarm them, and all of a sudden you can't see anything. Kale, your spell missed a little bit and hindered Naomi from being able to stop the guard, and the guard gets to the alarm, and you hear ringing now throughout the ship.
You're sending the hounds.
Prisoners have been released. Everyone, report to the brig. So now there's an alarm constantly going off, and you imagine that this is the voice of the guard calling through the ship's PA system, for lack of a better term, but it's just a big horn that they shout into. It's steampunk, so they don't have technology. And you start hearing footsteps on the floors above you. So people are coming down to the brig.
Naomi's gonna come out of the other side of the darkness, oh, son of a, kind of skid to a halt.
Yeah. So, Kale, you got into danger because of your key of the mission. So you're going to gain either 2 XP or 2 pool dice. Naomi, you are also going to get into danger because of your key of the warrior. So you also gain 2 XP or 2 pool dice, whichever you prefer.
Okay. Now I do 1 and 1.
Yeah.
Is it also possible that I might have hit Key of Fraternity because of how familiar I am with Captain Vance?
Yes. So you gain 1 XP or 1 die for that.
Okay.
And Snargle, I'm sorry, I forgot to give this to you. You gained 1 key from Key of the Daredevil as well for making all that noise.
Cool.
So you have 1 XP or 1 pool die as well. So if anyone hits 5 experience, they can do something new. We'll get there when we get there. But anyway, you hear the footsteps of the guards from above, and they're now coming down the steps. You see a total of... Got a D6 in front of me. 4 guards have now descended the stairs. And there are now a total of 5 guards. They are Marines. So they look like they're itching for a fight now that you all have gotten out. Hey, we told you we'd be right back. You need to get back in the brig. You hear me? You've got to go, says the lead Marine.
You can try. And Naomi's just gonna brace for the fight.
All right. Now, Naomi, you are a pit fighter. So do you push everyone else aside to take these? Is this something that Naomi is confident that she can knock out herself? Is this something you've done before?
Yeah, she's pretty bloodthirsty and kind of stuff like this. The worse the fight is, the more she loves it. So yeah, she's just gonna be front and center, shoving her way into the into the guards' faces.
Excellent. So that's that happens. Naomi comes up and she just knocks these guards left and right, just knocks them right out. They are completely decimated. They were not ready for the hurting that you just put on them. And in this close quarters combat, they just didn't stand a chance. These Marines are very much more used to long range combat and we're unprepared. So that obstacle has been overcome, and you hit your key of the warrior as well. So that's another XP or die. So these guards have been all knocked out. Naomi is standing over them, cracking her knuckles, stretching a little bit, and the staircases and the ship is yours for the taking to do whatever you all would like. Snargle, how are you feeling about all this? Have you been hanging back?
I probably went to try, and then she just handled it. And you're like, yeah, CQC, good job. Let's go find the owl.
Excellent. Snargle, can you're thinking about the owl right now because you're the pilot of the ship. Can you please roll me some die? This is going to be do you know your way around Imperial vessels? Is that something that you are aware of, or have you always kept with the smuggler ships?
Well, this is the first time we got captured, it seems. So I know a bit of both. Definitely know the owl.
Okay. So for this ship, can you please roll me because this has happened before, I think this is going to be an easy task, so you're only going to get 2 successes. But can you see what your knowledge of this type of vessel would be to see if you would know where they would put a detained ship? So you can use anything from your pilot or sky sailor traits in order to add to your pool to get those 2 successes.
Yeah. Can I use maps as in like ship maps too, besides like just outer maps?
Yep, maps. Interior ship maps too.
And Empire is one from Sky Sailor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you could use those 2, add it to the one you get by default, roll 3, see if you hit those 2 successes.
Can I add some? I'm not confident.
Yeah, you can.
Personally. Okay. I have some in the pool. So that's 3, and then however many I want to use for mine.
Let's say you could use observations, signals, Empire maps.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be 4 that you could potentially add to the one that you get by default.
Okay, it's 5. Let's try it. One more. Okay, well that's 2 successes, so that meets it.
Yep, meets it beats. All right, you know exactly where they would keep the owl. You look up at the wall and you see that they've got the telltale Empire navigation lines running through next to the steam pipes that power the ship. So you know that, the owl is going to be all the way at the back of the ship, and it's going to be at the lowest level, and so it's actually not too far away from where you currently are. So y'all can
go get our girl.
Can I turn off the alarm?
Smart.
Yes, please do. And so, Snargle, I don't think you hit any keys with that knowledge, but I'm going to keep it in mind. So you lose, how many die did you roll from your pool? 4?
It was the plus the extra run, so it's 5.
So it would only be the ones that were extra.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Cool. So your dice pool is what now? 4?
4. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, try and turn that alarm off. Kale. Let's see what you got.
Alright, I'm just gonna use sabotage? Is that, or could I just like
because you're the mechanic, you would know how to turn this alarm off. Easy peasy.
Okay, so I just do it.
Okay, yeah, the alarm's off now. Who's going to send a message to the rest of the ship now that the alarm turned off?
Oh, can I?
You do it.
All right, Kale, what do you say?
Everything's fine here. We got the situations under control. Everything's fine. We're all fine. How are you?
Okay, Han Solo.
Okay, well, just be sure to file your report. Just if there's any more information, just let us know. Maybe just keep all of the guards that came to investigate the situation on watch.
Yes, sir. Very good, sir. Will do.
And don't forget the report.
Yep. Hang on.
Excellent. Well, that went swimmingly. That went much better than I expected. I don't know what I was doing. Let's go. Let's find the ship. Snoggle, you know where it is, yes?
Yeah.
All right. To the owl. You all go through the ship. So are you all trying to be sneaky on your way through the ship? Or are you just walking? Walking through like you own the place, just like Captain Vance was doing?
Yeah. Naomi's not a sneaky kind of person.
Okay.
So unless explicitly told by Lady Blackbird, you gotta be sneaky, she's just gonna barrel her way through.
Yeah, Lady Blackbird doesn't really give you any signs other than we just need to get to the owl. It's kind of like time is of the essence here is what it seems like. And so you all continue your way through. I'm going to roll a secret die. Thank you. You all...
I don't like a thank you.
You are on your way to the owl, and you get there. There she is, sitting there, right in the ship brig, for lack of a better term. The
hangar bay, if I may offer.
Yeah, the hangar bay. There we go. Thank you. So you
ship
see
jail.
the ship jail. I like that too. So you see the owl sitting there in the hangar bay. It is being constrained by one of the Empire's grappling arms. And so it's being hung from the ceiling. It is what you felt the ship lurch as you were being hailed by the Hand of Sorrow, and one of these grappling hooks hit the ship, pulled you right on up, and that is how you got apprehended by the Imperial guards. So you're going to have to find some way to get it down. Also, you notice that there are other ships here. There are the Imperial fighter ships docked here as well. There seem to be about a dozen of them. So do with that information what you will. But first things first, in order to get the owl free, you're going to have to release it from the grappling arm. And figure out how to open the bay doors that open up in the floor.
Well, first things first, I guess. Can I sabotage all the Imperial vessels?
I would love that. Yes, please. So that you have sabotage as one of your traits. So you're just doing that. As soon as you see those ships, you're just these Imperial bastards. I know what I need to do. So I think that is going to be a hit for the key of the mission for you. So add a die or add an experience point. As far as the grappling arm goes, Snarkle, you realize that because this is an Imperial ship, they have a centralized location where they handle all of the mechanics of the hangar bay. And you know where that would be too. And so you head up to there and you see everything that all of the knobs and lights that are flashing. You understand all of it. It's like Greek to someone else, but to you it makes perfect sense. And you can see everything that would be there. However, there's going to have to be an override because someone has manually locked the grappling arm for the owl. And so the key is not there. Normally they'd take a key and they put it in and twist and they just kind of leave it there, but because there's nobody here in the hangar bay, it's eerily quiet. The key has been removed and you see that it's set in the locked position.
Is there an intercom?
Yes, there is. All of the consoles have an intercom built into them. Say what you will about the Empire, but they do like to communicate with each other.
Can I get a manager?
Yeah.
We've got a Karen in the hangar. Can we get a manager?
I need the key. They're really annoyed.
You dial in the Empire's bridge control code. They keep it the same. They really should get better security on it, but they've kept it the same for decades, and you remember it off the top of your head. So you key that in, and you get right up to the bridge. This is Captain Hollis. Hello? Is there anyone there?
Yes, Captain. We need the key to unlock the override, please.
What? Why? For the prisoner ship?
Yeah, we're just gonna chuck it.
Well, why?
Blue.
Did they give you trouble at the brig?
No, they're good.
So why are we jettisoning the ship?
Because that who would be higher than him? Would I know that?
Yeah, you'd know it. There's an admiral above him.
That's what the admiral wants.
Where did you get that communique?
I don't know. Just now. Before.
Amy's gonna give you an emotional support thumbs up, like, you got this.
Let's. This is an obstacle, I'm gonna say, and you can use your slide traits and tags to try and BS your way through this interaction and get that key. So you can use crafty, sneaky, distractions, bluff, language.
There's a lot of hand. Yeah.
Yeah, any one of those. So Anyone you want to use there? This is going to be difficult, so you got to get 3 hits. And the emotional support thumbs up. You can use that as an extra die.
Can I? Is that cool?
Yep.
Yes.
That is
Oh,
an emotional support die.
Always good for morale to know that others have your back.
Hey, I'm using bluff. Crafty. Does that work?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, here goes.
Okay, so you get 4 die then. One default, 2 you're using, and the one from Naomi as well for the thumbs up.
That thumbs up. Okay. 3. Is there any I can use for my pool, or is that part of it?
I mean, you could really use any of the ones from the sly tag, so long as you've got the die in your pool, you can use it.
Just looking. Okay. Nope. All right. This isn't gonna go well. 4. Okay. 2 6s and 2 1s, but that doesn't help me.
What is your ID? What's your ID number there?
8008. 5. That's how that works.
Hi. 800885. Okay. Stay right there. And you hear the communication completely cut off.
Oh, he has a key on him. Or somebody. We still make this work.
And then you hear the alarm start again. Everyone get to the hangar bay. We've got some imposters, intruders, some sort of scallywag that we have to deal with. Go and take care of it.
Didn't work. Oh.
I was just gonna stomp over to the door and just, oh god.
So you all are at the far end of the ship, right underneath the engine, actually. So you're at one of the farthest points that anyone would need to get to. It's not often that the hangar bay would need to be staffed, especially not in these parts by Haven. It's not something that they would really worry too much about having to get fighters scrambled. So you know that you have a little bit of time, so that you can either prepare something to prepare for an imminent attack, or I'll also allow you to try to manually open the door and free the owl. Whichever y'all would like to do.
Okay, Naomi will go and try and manually open the doors if we want to make a break for it.
Yeah. So for opening the doors, you can use anything from Pit Fighter, Keen would also be available, and yeah, I think anything from those two, anything that you want to do. This is a big door. So
yeah.
This is going to be an extreme challenge. So you've got to get 5 successes.
Oh boy.
You look at Lady Blackbird, and she's looking at you in a way that she's looked at you before, and you see a look in her eyes, and you see a little twinge of the magic that the sorcerers have, and you see that she is ready to imbue you with magic in order to help you, so you'll gain 1 to your dice pool automatically.
Okay. All right.
Could I also maybe help? I have sabotage mechanically.
Yeah, that could help. Cyrus is trying very hard to get into the ship.
Okay.
He's just trying to get into the owl itself. I've got to get into my ship. There it is right there. You all can handle this, right? You've got this. I believe in all of you. He gives you all a thumbs up. And this thumbs up is not going to add to your dice pool.
Okay, I'm going to use disarm. Is that?
Yep, that'll work.
I'm going to go brutal. And I'm going to go fast. So that's 6. I'm going to go up to 7.
Okay.
Use insightful. It's a lot of die. Got 2 successes and 4 ones out of that. They are going in jail. Good lord.
Goodbye, dice. Okay, you...
In jail, all of you.
You try as hard as you can to get this door open, but it is an immense task. I'm going to say that you're going to take the tired condition.
Oh boy.
So... Yes, you'll take the tired condition, but you keep all of your die and you gain 1 more.
Okay.
And so that is that. I'm gonna say that your key of the warrior got you in trouble here.
Okay.
I know this isn't a battle, but I know that you saw this was a monumental task, and you crave the crash and roar of battle, the tougher the better. This is something that you were trying to overcome, and it got you in trouble. So you do get 2 experience or 2 extra die. The max die pool is 10. So if you hit 10, then it's just experience.
That's me at 10.
Okay.
By taking those die.
Excellent. So if anyone has 5 experience, you can do advances whenever you want as well. You can do them in the middle of battle. You can do them in the middle of an obstacle or anything like that as well. So the alarm is continuing to go off. You all are waiting with bated breath. Cyrus eventually gets his way into the ship. You hear a lot of clanging and clattering from up there, and you see him open one of the windows of the in the cockpit, and he goes, "Well, folks, we have a problem. We don't have any fuel." So we'll need fuel, or we can free fall. Oh, the door's not. Oh, well. Good luck. Do you want any? Can I get you anything from the ship? Maybe a tea or some toast? The toaster works.
Yeah, some toast.
Is there a door behind us that the enemy guards would have to come through to get to us?
Yes, there is one door that they would be coming through.
All right, I would like to sabotage the shit out of that door and, break the lock and trap it with an explosive.
Okay, so I'll say that you can sabotage it, and that'll buy you more time. Let's do an obstacle for the trap itself to see if it buys you any extra time or if it just solves the problem. So for Kale, you can use any of your tricky traits. Mechanic, obviously you can use sabotage, spare parts. Any of your mechanic or tricky traits to try and build this trap. if you want this to solve the problem completely, I'm going to say it's an extreme task. If you just want to buy yourself some more time, I'm going to say it's going to be difficult.
I'll take difficult.
Okay, so you got to get 3 successes.
Okay.
So let me know how many die are you want to use from your pool, and we'll see how you do.
I'm gonna use... If I use 4 die, then I get an extra 1 as well, right?
If you use 4 from your pool, you get the 1 you get by default. Yeah.
Okay. 5d6. Oh my, that is an extreme success.
Did you get all success?
What's the thing on it? Difficult?
Yeah, you only have to get 3 successes.
Yeah, they're all successes.
Oh, yeah, so it's just all are 4 or above. Okay. Geez, you all got some luck now. Okay, well, Kale, you're going to set a trap to buy you some time, and you realize, wait a minute, if I do this, no one's going to be able to get through here ever. We're not going to be able to get out, but they're not going to be able to get in. And so but you know that unless you could undo the trap and you'd be able to get through. And so you set the trap and it's set. So you come back to the rest of the crew and you say, hey, we've got plenty of time now. Ain't no one getting in through there. That I think is a key of your mission. So you lose some die, but you can add 1 or gain an experience point.
Okay.
I might say that's key of fraternity too.
Yeah?
Yeah. After what Cyrus just said to all of you, I'd say it is. Snargle?
Yeah.
Cyrus throws some toast down to you.
Yay!
Here you go, chat. And that's going to be... I think that's a key of banter, for sure. So that's a die or an XP for you.
Cool.
So you all have all of the time in the world now. You know that you need fuel. You know you need to get the door open. So brute force, unfortunately, wasn't the answer in this case. And you do need to release the grappling arm as well. So, but because you've got all the time in the world, how do you all put your heads together to get everything working?
Kale. Can you fit that lock?
Yeah, Can I do 2 things? Can I tell, what's her name? Can I tell Naomi to grab like some sort of pipe, I guess, so that we can siphon the fuel from the ship's engines into the owl?
Yeah, you would have a good enough knowledge of the ships and how they're put together to siphon fuel from somewhere, and you'd be able to work with Naomi on that.
Okay, and can I take whatever kind of laser gun thing on one of the enemy aircraft? Can I take one of those and blow the lock off?
They don't have laser guns. They do have, it's slug throwers. but there are tools here in the hangar as well. So there's like an oxyacetylene torch that you can use.
Okay. What would you like me to use that with?
I mean, you all have all the time in the world because of the trap you set. So you hear banging on the door. It's like boom, 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 boom. Hey, let us in here. Why can't we get in? Get the torches. The torches are in the hangar bay. We can't get in there. Go get something big so we can ram it down. You hear all of these sorts of conversations happening, and you're all just moseying because you know that those doors aren't getting open.
I'd like to taunt them.
Yes. Perfect. How are you going to taunt them?
I'm just talking through the door back at them. Can they hear me?
Yeah, they can hear you.
Okay. And fuck you! You're not getting in here.
Hey, you.
Yeah.
You're one of those prisoners, aren't you? Yeah. Well, look. Once we get in there, we're gonna put you back in the brig. That's a key of banter again for you. And Naomi, for your help with getting the gas siphoned, that's a key of the Guardian.
Nice.
And for Kale, with all of this, that's key of the mission. So you all are getting these key hits all over the place. So you do everything that you need to do. It takes you about 30 minutes or so. You just hear the banging on the door, people trying to get through. You hear them, they finally get a battering ram. You hear them trying to fire the slug throwers at the door too. And it's just to no avail. It's not opening. So you siphon gas into the owl, you release it, or you get it almost released from the grappling arm, but you open up the hangar bay doors first. So there's the wild blue beneath you, and once everyone's inside, you just have to hit one lever and on the control console from the cockpit of the owl, and you all are free flying. So who's going to take the shot on the lever on that console?
I'll do it. Pretty tough. Smash.
Yeah, I would take care of it, but my firing arm is weak when they apprehended me. So by all means, please.
Yeah, hit that lever to leave here.
Hey.
Gift of banter again. See, Snargle is just... Maybe it's just me being a dad and loving the dad pun. That Snargle is.
God.
But yeah, you keep up with those puns, and you're just going to keep hitting that key. I'm just going to tell
break
you.
Break it in. Oh,
cool. So yeah, absolutely. So you've got a slug thrower now, Naomi. You line up the sights. Look back at everyone. Everyone gives you a thumbs up. You take the shot, and the owl is released from the grappling hook, or the grappling arm, and you are now flying free in the wild blue. You see the Hand of Sorrow above you drift off in the direction that it was already heading, and you all are free from this horrible situation that you've been in for, at this point, 4 hours.
As we depart from the ship, Naomi's gonna do a salute that then turns into the middle finger, goodbye.
I love it. That is going to be key of vengeance for you, Naomi.
Nice.
And, well, should we continue on our way to the remnants, or do you want to take a stop at Nightport? That was quite the adventure we had there, huh? This is Cyrus. Any thoughts, Snargle? I know you like the libations they have at Nightport.
Yeah, good booze.
I mean, I could always use it. I don't know how you all feel, but that's where I'm at. Every time I get boarded and have to stay any time in a brig, I just want to kick back and relax for a while until the next time it happens, but Kale, don't look at me like that. What's you? What? Kale, you're my first mate. You have to listen to me anyway. Lady Blackbird, Naomi, how are you feeling? How can? Where would you like to be? Oh, right. Well, fleeing from Elysium, right? We should probably continue, should we?
Sounds like a good plan.
That would be my preferred choice. Yes, Captain. Oh, well. All right, Snargle. Set a course for the remnants. I guess.
Out of character, which tavern? Where was that tavern?
Nightport.
Advances? And I'm gonna
the Coat's place.
Okay. So we are at Elysium, and we're heading to the remnants.
You all are by Haven right now, actually. You're about halfway to the remnants.
Okay.
Yeah, so Haven and Nightport sit around halfway between Elysium and the remnants, where you all are on your search for the for Uriah Flint, the Pirate King. And so if you all are continuing straight to the remnants, you can chart that course and be on your way. But Cyrus wanted to stop at Nightport because Cyrus, he just seems like he's always got nowhere to be, is the general vibe you get from him.
I'm gonna try and hit my key of fraternity and go, well, Nightport's kind of on the way. We could get it to go. And I look at Naomi and then Lady Blackbird.
Naomi definitely defers to Lady Blackbird in any kind of decision like this.
So Lady Blackbird turns to all of you and says, I chartered this vessel for a reason. And we are going to find my love, Uriah Flint, as quickly as possible. He moves so swiftly through the remnants that we have no idea where he would be at any given time. This time that we've lost already is time that we could have been spent looking for him. And I can't lose him again. I can't be sent back to Elysium. Not now, not ever. You can get your drinks after I have been delivered. Do I make myself clear?
Naomi's gonna stand over her shoulder, arms crossed, and be like, "You heard the lady."
I kind of elbow Snargle gently and go, "Oh, looks like we're not getting those drinks."
Cyrus looks at Lady Blackbird and goes, "You're right, my apologies. Absolutely, my lady. We will get you to the remnants. Snargle set the course," and he leaves the bridge. Ooh. So, with the chart, or the course charted, there we go, you are on the way to the remnants. Now, with the way that the Wild Blue is set up, there are basically two levels of the atmosphere, let's say. So all of the worlds are in the upper atmosphere, and then there are the lower depths, where the heavier gases swirl and mix, and it's a dense layer of fog. And it's corrosive. So if you go down in there, you need to wear gas masks to breathe, and most airship hulls would start to corrode after a while. However, the pirates and other criminals would use the lower depths to evade Imperial patrols and to launch raids of any sort. So, one thing that you'll have to decide, Snargle, is if you're charting your course in the upper atmosphere but you might be beset upon by any scoundrels or Imperial vessels, or if you want to flirt with the lower depths and the dangers that are down there. So the corrosive fog itself and the rumors of
Squids.
Sky squid and other monstrous things. So when you're charting the course, how do you chart it? You are the pilot, and so they defer to your judgment.
Oh, it's up to me. Ooh, no, I wanna.
You want to flirt with the lower depths?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, that's going to hit your key of the Daredevil. And I will need you to make a roll for me to see if you can evade the telltale signs of the sky squid and other dangers of the lower depths. So this will be a difficult charter that you have to do.
Yeah.
Can I offer some keen assistance? Just kind of stand over Snargle's shoulder and keep my eyes peeled for surprise attackers, that kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. There would be a radar system that you all would have access to, or I guess it's sonar, that you all would have that you could keep a close eye on while Snargle's working on setting the course. So yeah, you could get additional die there, Snargle, for your roll. So you got to roll above a 3 or above, and you can use anything from your pilot or Sky Sailor backgrounds.
Mm-hmm. So that's the default one, and the help one, and...
However many you want to add.
Okay. Let's do... Observation from Sky Sailor. Tricky flying, and navigation for 5.
Sure.
Is that good? Okay.
That sounds good to me. If it sounds good to you.
I'll tell you how that works out. One more. Come on, baby. Okay, well, I got 2 successes.
2 successes? All right, you chart a course and everything Looks like it's good. So you set the course, you set the autopilot, and you all go to bed, I assume? It's getting to be pretty late now. The sun doesn't set in the wild blue because you are just out in this atmosphere around this dimming star, but there are shutters on the owl that you can use to catch some shut-eye. So is everyone asleep, or is everyone doing something different?
I would like to do something different.
Okay.
Since I managed to somehow get up to 5 XP, I would like to add a new trait.
Okay. So you can add a new trait from that last sheet of the PDF I sent you. Somewhere in here. There it is. Yeah, new traits and tags.
Couldn't I add it from the...
Oh, yeah, you can add a new tag, too. The nomenclature is a little tricky.
That's the ones in brackets, right?
Yes, you can add one of those bracketed tags as well.
Okay, I'm going to add distractions, and I'm going to try and scramble our energy signature so that it would be harder for anybody to pick us up on their communiques.
Okay. That'll be something that's difficult. So that'll be three successes you'll need, but you can use anything from your mechanic and tricky traits.
Oh.
I mean, with the exception of like tumbler and contortionist. Oh, sorry, burglar or mechanic. Sorry. It's like tricky doesn't make sense. Where's the distractions? There it is in burglar. So, perceptive, darkness, traps, distractions, you can use any of those. And then from mechanic, efficiency, sabotage.
I only have 3 die.
That's in your pool?
In my pool.
Okay.
At the moment. So then it's 4d6.
Yep. So you'd be able to roll 4d6 and you would have nothing in your pool. Just the 1 die you get by default for obstacles. Unless you want to do a refreshment scene afterwards.
Yeah, I might have to.
Yeah. We're going to have to see if you succeed or not first.
That's 2 successes.
Okay. You've set the energy signature. You've changed it. And by all accounts, it looks like everything is going to be good to go.
Okay, I don't like that either.
I mean, you failed, but it seems like everything's good. So you keep your die and you gain a die. And the same for you, Snargle. So you failed, but everything seems like it's okay. That's the complication that I've chosen.
Makes us feel real good.
I'm very good at that. Making you feel bad by saying things are good. So Kale, you come up after Snargle has set the course, and you come and you change the energy signatures so that you are less likely to be seen. And now, at this point, it's pretty late, and you all have had a full day of smuggling a noble and getting captured by the Imperium or the Empire, and escaping the Empire. And I feel like you all are pretty tired. So you all go to sleep?
Will that remove the tired buff from Naomi?
I will say that it will.
Awesome.
And they don't have a mechanic like this in here, but I'm going to say if you are at less than 7 die, you gain 2 die. Why not? for sleeping. And that is going to take us to the middle of the night, or rather the middle of the sleep cycle, when it feels like you have all been grappled again by an Empire ship. And so you all are shaken awake. You open up the shutters to see what's going on outside. You don't see an Imperial ship, though. And so you almost don't feel the telltale sign of a ship being pulled up into an Imperial vessel. After a while, everything is quiet. You start to hear a squeaking metal sound, like the sound of metal being crushed, and you feel like the ship is descending, and it looks like the fog is getting thicker.
Should the ship be making that noise?
I rush to the cockpit to see what's going on.
Okay, there you find Snargle already at the helm. And Snargle, you know what's going on.
Weed.
It's a sky squid. You can actually see the tip of one of the tentacles on the windscreen of the ship. You're getting pulled down into the depths, and you know that the corrosion resistance on the owl has seen better days, let's say. So you know that if you are brought all the way down into the lower depths, that things aren't going to be super great for those inside the owl. It is outfitted with the gas masks that would be necessary in order to survive in the lower depths. However, the ship itself might get pulled apart, and especially if there's a squid here, things could get complicated pretty quickly. So you all are being squished by a sky squid and being pulled down into the lower depths. So how would you all like to handle this?
Naomi's gonna grab one of the gas masks and shove it at Lady Blackbird and just be like, keep a hold of this. And then turn to Snargle, what do I need to do? She's ready to fight stuff. She will punch a squid.
Hell yeah. Is there a way to outside fight, or is it just all ship the squid?
Well, you... if Kale would be willing to part with their magnetic boots that they need for doing repairs on the ship's hull sometimes, there are a pair of magnetic boots that you have access to.
Naomi's ready to crack open a can of spinach like Popeye,
Okay. I give you the magnetic boots.
Okay, so the boots are by one of the exits to the exterior of the ship. Kind of looks like an airlock, or I guess a cross between an airlock and a submarine hull entry port with those big valves and everything. So, Naomi, are you wearing a gas mask as well? Or
yes.
Are you... Okay. So Naomi's outfitted, looking steampunk as hell with a gas mask, goggle getup, and these big, clunky magnetic shoes. And you're out there. What is your preferred weapon of attack? Is it just your fists because of that pit fighter background?
Yeah, she's a meat on meat kind of girl.
Gotcha. Perfect. So you're out there. What is what does your attire look like? What how do we describe your this cinematic moment where you're out there in the lower, on the cusp of the lower depths, on the outside of a ship, ready to fist fight a squid?
He's giving off kind of like the Mad Max vibes, like the armor's all different pieces. It's not one set that she has. Like, arms are bare, scarred, muscular, hair's kind of like tied back in a knot.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like a bit of a cape flowing in the atmosphere just to make it super dramatic. Perfect.
I love it. Yeah. So this is the first time that you've actually seen the squid, other than that tentacle that was on the windscreen. This sucker is big. It's easily double the size of the owl in length. It's pushing 3 times the size of the owl. And it is just, you see the beak has, it appears to have attached to the engine, or one of the engines, I should say. And it seems to be feeding on the fumes coming out of the engine there. All the tentacles are wrapped all around it, and you see that its fins are pushing it down to try and pull everything down into the lower depths where it can ingest everything a little more comfortably. On the outside of the ship itself, there is a so it does have a top-mounted external gun turret as well that you all could try and leverage. But as it stands right now, the squid would not be in range of that weapon there.
Okay. She wants to look for like soft, sensitive areas that would take the most damage.
Okay.
From her.
So I'll say that that'll be a difficult obstacle, but if you are able to find something like that, you will gain an advantage against the sky squid. So you can use your keen senses and your pit fighter or bodyguard as well.
Okay. This is a 3 challenge?
Yep.
Okay.
Can I help at all with the ship, or?
Yes.
Okay.
You can kind of feel the way that the squid is pulling, and I'll say that you can assist with the ship as well. Once you feel resistance in a certain direction, you would know what to do in order to kind of shake loose. So you can gain an extra die there, Naomi.
Yeah, I'll give you.
I'm gonna go brutal. Living weapon. I have 5 XP points.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go in and unlock bone breaking.
Okay.
As well.
I love it.
And I will go in with tough as well.
Okay.
So that's 6.
All right, let's see what you got.
1, 2, 3.
Excellent.
Finally.
Nice.
All right, you notice that the squid's eye is in proximity of your fists from the hull of the ship, and you clunk, 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 clunk your way over there, and you just start wailing on this squid's eye to try and let go. As you're doing this, it does release a little bit, And as it releases, Snargle feels that change and yanks the owl out of the squid's grasp. It's still pursuing you. However, you are no longer in its clutches, and you're starting to gain altitude now. So that's going to be Key of the Warrior for sure. And
Secret of Destruction, maybe?
That would be something that you can use in battle. So if you wanted to, you could say, I want to use the Secret of Destruction here.
Sweet.
And I just automatically win this fight.
Cool.
So you would get Key of the Warrior and Key of the Guardian for 2 XP or 2 dice. Snargle, you're going to get Daredevil, Key of the Daredevil as well. And Kale, you're going to get Key of the Mission for helping with the boots. And so the owl is now free. The sky squid is now pursuing you. So how would you all like to handle this?
Can I jump on the gun now? That it's loose?
Yeah, you can get in the gunnery seat. So you hop on in there and you look at the controls. And are you familiar with turret controls, or is this something that you would never have kind of experienced before?
I think this would be something that's pretty new. She's used to sort of hand-to-hand fighting.
Okay. So as far as that goes, in order to use the guns themselves, you would use your keen abilities. But this is going to be... It's a machine gun turret, so I think this is going to be an easy challenge because of the size of the squid and the rate of fire on the machine gun. So anything you want to use from keen plus the one you get by default, you can see if you can drive this squid off.
I'm going to use Aware and Traps.
Okay.
What do I need to succeed on this one?
2.
Oh. I might also use Insightful.
Okay.
Okay, that's 2.
Excellent. So
Glad I used Insightful.
You hop right into the gunner seat and you look at it for a second. And you're like, okay, got to turn this on and do this. And all right, I've got this. Everything powers up. And you do a wide spread. And then you eventually figure out the intricacies of this gun, if you can call them intricacies. And you pull it around and right at the squid, and you manage to knock it down back into the lower depths. It lets out a spray of ink, and it just turns tail and runs. And now you all are safe from the sky squid. As you were out on the ship as well, Naomi, you noticed that there was a crackling energy field that seems to be interacting with the corrosive fog in the depths. And you were basically, as you were being pulled further into the depths, you realized that the ship itself, the owl, seemed to be glowing, as if this is like a beacon in the depths now. And as you gain altitude, that doesn't happen as much anymore, and everything kind of goes right. You're still glowing a little bit, and you're not quite sure why, but you did see that while you were outside of the ship.
I'll relay that information to Kale and Snargle when I get back inside.
Perfect. So Kale and Snargle, you hear that info. Kale, you didn't realize how closely Snargle was going to be charting the course to the edge of the lower depths, and you realize that the energy signature that you attuned to is what caused the glowing effect. If that energy signature was up at a higher altitude, it would jam sensors, but in the lower depths, it makes you glow like a light bulb. And so it's like putting an anglerfish lure in front of a sea squid, and it's just anyone in 5 mile radius that sees it is going to come and just try and get it. So, oops.
Big oops.
So, the captain comes out and says, "What's going on? I'm trying to get my beauty vest. What's happened?" "Hello, Naomi. Why are you wearing those boots?"
Fashion.
"Ah, they're great. You should wear them at all times." Where's the lady? Is she okay?" "Oh, yes, Lady Blackbird. Hello, how are you?" And Cyrus sees Lady Blackbird clutching the gas mask. And she says, "I'm going back to my chambers." And she throws the gas mask down into the bin and storms off. "Well, who's put a bee in her bonnet?" "All right, well, carry on. I don't know what's happening, but continue."
Okay.
What's wrong, Snargle? You look shaken.
Oh, just thinking about larger treatment of squids.
Ah, well, those sea squids, they're fine. So long as we don't go too low, right?
Yeah.
Well, off for some shut-eye. Goodbye. You... Fortunately, Cyrus doesn't see that, but...
Yeah, it was fine. It's back.
It feels good. It feels good for sure.
We're we know.
Yes, Snargle and Kale see it. You all work together to recharge your course and figure out your energy signatures to work best for the altitudes that you'll be flying at for the duration of your time to the remnants. And the rest of the journey goes by without much of a hitch. You all go below deck and get some shut-eye. Naomi, you have lost the tired condition. And you awaken in the morning cycle, and you see in the distance now that you can see the remnants themselves, the shattered remains of worlds from long past. It's a swirling maelstrom of these world shards, and they're very hard to navigate, even for you, Snargle. But Lady Blackbird said that Uriah Flint is here somewhere in his secret fortress, and you've got to find it. However, she did say that only those who already knew the secrets of the true course can ever really reach the center and find the remnants of the fortress that the Pirate King calls home. So once you see the remnants and you call everyone up, Snargle, I imagine that you call everyone up to let everyone know. Take a look out on the viewing deck, maybe, of the owl. And so everyone's there, and Lady Blackbird says she looks almost... She's excited and sad at the same time, it looks like. Naomi, you recognize this first because you've spent the most time with her. And she looks almost worried. It's that anxious worry that you get when you're not quite sure what is going to happen next, but you're excited for it. It's kind of like stage fright, I guess, but you realize that is the way that she's feeling right now. And so she says to you all, okay, well, Uriah is out there somewhere. He taught me the way through. I hope that I remember it. And you can see that she's now doing something with her hand. She's doing something magical. She's conjuring a version of the remnants in front of you that you can kind of see in real time. And so she conjures this image and pulls it up into a space where you all can see it. And you see that there is a route that goes around these world shards. Each of the world shards has a similar to the energy signature that the owl was putting off. Each one of these world shards has one of those signatures as well that kind of circles the world shard itself. And as those world shards get closer to each other, you can see that those energies intersect. And so Lady Blackbird says, okay, so he said that it was a certain time of day when the world shards come together like this, and you can see that this image that she's conjuring is speeding up and slowing down, rewinding, going forward again, as she's looking for the way that these energies need to align. And she says, there, like that. And you see at this certain orientation that the energy sources all merge in one point. And at that one point, you see in the middle of it a version of the fortress that wasn't there before. And so it's only there for a brief instant. It looks like it's probably about an hour-long window, if you had to guess, with the way that she was moving through time with it. But you see that there's an hour window about once a day that you could use to get there to the fortress. And it looks like it's going to be in the next 2 hours that it is going to hit that energy confluence, and you all will be able to get there to the fortress. So the question is going to be, with all of the... So there are the main world shards that have the energy signatures and everything. However, there are also random refuse from the... it's almost like an asteroid belt that would be causing... it would be hard to maneuver through. And so the tricky bit is going to be getting there in time, being fast enough but also careful enough that you're not going to hit any of these bits that are going to harm the ship in such a way. So, well, that's where it is. Do we think we can get there in time?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good. And she, stops the conjuration. Okay, so, excellent, good. And she has this nervous energy about her now, different from before, where it's, I remembered how to do this. We're here. we're like 2 hours away. We're going to do this. Okay, let's do it. All right. Okay. Yes, good. And you see Cyrus come up to her, and he says, well, now, lady, my lady, may I call you my lady? Yes, that's fine. Well, do we really need to get to the fortress today? Surely we could, spend some more time together here. It's been such a lovely experience being here with you, and I just don't want our time to end. What are you talking about, Captain? I've seen the way you've looked at me, my lady. And I know. How many feelings do you truly have for this pirate king of yours when you could be the lady of the Owl and be here with me, captain of the Owl, and be a part of my crew? I mean, Naomi has already proven her worth. Surely you'd like to join my crew here and sail the deep blue with me for the rest of your days.
Naomi's gonna sort of grab his shoulder a little bit, like almost a friendly gesture, but watching for Lady Blackbird's reaction, like slowly start to squeeze down a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Lady Blackbird's looking at you, Naomi, and she goes, "What? Captain, I'm sure I don't know what you mean. Any of you?"
She's just gonna squeeze a bit tighter and kind of smiling at the captain, just be like, I think we've made our position clear, and we're gonna stick to the course we've been charting.
Naomi, please. And he tries to brush you off, and he's not able to move your hand.
Just the grip just tightens incrementally.
Okay.
It's been an absolute pleasure, Captain, but I think we should really stick to our course.
At this point, can I turn to Snargle and whisper, "Oh my god, we have to do something," and then Snargle puts their hands on the steering wheel or whatever kind of steering wheel it is, and I knock the afterburner, and the afterburner makes the ship lunge forward, and it knocks the captain off of his feet to break up that awkward moment.
Okay. Snargle, are you cool with that? With Kale helping with the helm a bit?
Yeah.
Is this something you all have run into with the captain before? Where he's been so forward with one of your someone who's chartered the ship with you?
He does this to everybody, doesn't he?
Yeah, someone should really say something, but not this time. And then I hit the afterburner.
All right. You hit the afterburner, and Cyrus's head comes forward, and he knocks his head on one of the lower hanging pipes. And he goes, "Oh, well. I horribly misread the situation. Thank you so much for chartering the Owl. We'll surely get you to your pirate king as soon as possible. Excuse me." And he, at that point, doesn't walk away. He just teleports away. And you don't see the captain again. So as far as the course goes, Snargle, we're going to need some help. And you know what? Kale and Naomi have been such a help with being on the sensors and everything. I'm going to say this is a challenging obstacle to overcome. But with everything that you all have done so far, or no, not challenging. This is an extreme obstacle for you all to overcome, excuse me. But with everything that you all have done so far to this point, working together to pilot the ship and keep an eye on everything, I will say that instead of one die for helping each other, all three of you can work together to form a dice pool to overcome this challenge. So what would you all like to do?
Shit.
I would like to use my knowledge of the engines to help us accelerate and decelerate where in strategic ways for us to better navigate. And I'm going to use all 4 of my die.
All 4 of your pool die plus the default?
Yes.
Yeah, so you all get the default, and then you get whatever pool die you want to use as well.
Okay. I'm gonna use my bodyguard traits, awareness and threats, just to keep an eye out on things. Make sure that any dangers are spotted as quickly as possible. I've also given Lady Blackbird a cup of tea so that she calms down a bit, because she seemed anxious and then thrown off.
Yes, that's good. And Lady Blackbird gives you a die to help as well, Naomi.
Yeah.
So you can roll. You're going to roll 4 then?
Yeah.
All right, Snargle, what you got? How are you feeling?
Great. I mean, we're going to make the best time. And it's because I'm going to fly really recklessly. Because I've learned nothing. Kale with the engines probably has to pull it back sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kale's going to be working on moving power from other systems in order to give more to the engines, pull it back, do this and that. So you all are going to be in constant communication. And I mean, you've got all the piloting and the Sky Sailor stuff under your belt. So how many die are you going to be using, Snargle? So you've got your default, and then how many others?
Use trick flying and maneuvering. There's a lot to go on here. I guess 4 others.
Okay, so 5 total.
Yeah.
5 total for Kale, and then 4 for Naomi. Is that right?
Yep.
Yep.
Right. You all have to get 5 successes.
Between us?
Between the 3 of you, just got to get 5 successes. So everyone, roll it once. We got to get all that dice fully.
I got 4. I got max successes.
Wow.
I got 2 successes.
Oh, you've done it. But how successful are you successful? How many did you get?
Are you gonna make me say it?
Yeah.
Snuggle
no
got
successes?
No.
Oh, no.
So Snuggle is really excited about this maneuver. As soon as they saw that map and all the maneuvering they were going to have to do, they were like, yes.
Oh, wait,
absolutely.
hold on.
Oh.
Okay, it's 2. I was wrong.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you used 2 successes, and 4 successes. So you all got a total of 8 successes, which is very good. And so any of the dice that you use are out of your dice pool, but we're going to give Snargle the key of the Daredevil, so you've got that. Also, you're going to get Key of Conscience from helping out Kale with Lady Blackbird and knocking Captain Cyrus on the head.
What a conscience.
Yeah, right. Kale, you're going to get Key of the Mission. And I'll say that because of what you did for Captain Vance, getting him out of that situation. That's Key of Fraternity as well. And for Naomi, definitely Key of the Guardian. And I think that's going to hit twice. Because once for protecting Lady Blackbird from the captain, and once again for making sure this ship is protected during this journey. So, Snargle is very excited about all of this, and after the afterburners were hit, remember, oh yeah, we've got those, I forgot. It's just a sprint to get to where you are, because you have about 2 hours of time, but you know that it's gonna take just about all of that 2 hours to get there. So you're just gunning it as fast as you can. And Kale, you're pulling the throttle back when you need to, based on the word from Naomi on any threats that are upcoming. And so the owl looks like it's just hurtling through space and throwing itself around, but it's throwing itself around, obstacles that it's, you wouldn't think a single pilot would be able to do. You all are perfect symbiosis, basically, to get this ship to do what it needs to do to get you where you need to get in time. And so you had an egg timer that you set in the cockpit with Snargle. Snargle, you're seeing that it's getting down to like the 5-minute mark. You're seeing it ticking down. It's that faster tick that it does when you're getting to the end of it. And you see in the distance, you go by one of these world shards and you see the fortress there, and you know that you've only got those 5 minutes left to get to the fortress. It's already been up for 55 minutes. You couldn't see it up until this point, and you knew that was going to happen. And you blast around this world shard, and then you just open up the throttle. Kale pulls all energy to engines, and you just zoom right towards the fortress itself as the egg timer is ticking. And you're almost there. And then right as the egg timer is ringing, you slide in to the fortress, to this wide opening that you see. You see all of these other ships there as well. And you are coming in at full throttle. You get in, the egg timer rings. Behind you, the world shards of the remnants disappear as you enter the fortress. And Kale, you real quick have to redivert all the power to reverse thrusters, and you land in this docking bay with as much grace as you can, from going full speed to reverse speed as you can, basically. You pull a Fast and Furious move on it. You kind of drift into this docking bay, and you find an open slot, and all around you see, through the viewports, there are pirates all around and various smugglers and scoundrels, and they look at the ship. They're all dumbfounded with what just happened. Some of them are clapping. But you hear a random whistle or two, and you dock. And I imagine you all get off the ship. So how are you getting off the ship? Are you protecting Lady Blackbird? Are you going before Lady Blackbird gets out? What's the feel? What's the vibe? You know that there are a lot of pirates here. You knew you were going to see the Pirate King. But how do you all feel? What's going on?
I imagine that Naomi and Lady Blackbird have a procedure. So Naomi's just going to stick to whatever that expectancy is. So if expected that she would maybe go first, scout, and then come back and let Lady Blackbird take the lead and then sort of shadow her, I think would probably be the way that she went about it.
Yeah. So in this instance, Lady Blackbird says she's still kind of shaken from, well, A, the interaction with Captain Vance, and then B, the adrenaline pumping maneuvers that you all just did for the last 2 hours to get here. And you all aren't. Yeah, you all don't have any status conditions. You all are fine. You did a lot of successes. But you all, she feels pretty shaken, and you get that vibe from her. So she's also kind of slyly tells you that she's worried about being on the ship with the captain. And so in this instance, you all are going to, she wants you by her side here, I'll say. It's kind of what she's putting off. Doesn't want to leave you. So she says to you, Naomi, so we've made it. Here we are. How does my hair look?
You look beautiful as always.
Thank you. And she pulls a loose strand that has come down and pulls it and tucks it back up into a hairpin that she's got. Excellent. So I've been here before.
Dust off her shoulders, like.
Thank you. Now I've been here before. However, keep your eyes out. I never know what bounty hunters or scoundrels, rapscallions, what have you, will be here. So just keep an eye out.
Don't worry. No scallywags are going to get past me.
Perfect. Thank you, Naomi. I could not have done this without you. You've always been a good friend.
I've got your back.
Thank you. Let's go find Uriah. I miss him so. I'm glad to be rid of Elysium and all the trappings of royalty. There, I'm ready to be a pirate queen. And she laughs.
You will be a wonderful pirate queen.
She says, I guess I don't need this anymore. And she takes a brooch that's pinned on her bodice, and it's the crest of the Blackbird clan. And she throws it down and stomps on it. And she says, please call me Natasha. I don't need that name anymore.
As you wish.
So Snargle and Kale, what are you doing? You fulfilled your mission. You got Lady Blackbird to where she wanted to be.
I'm picking up the pieces of gold or whatever were on that brooch because I like shiny things and I like to steal cool and shiny stuff. Perfect.
You hit your key of greed.
Yeah.
And Kale, you've hit key of the mission as well, and Naomi, you've also hit key of the Guardian again, and of course, Snargle, key of the Daredevil. I mean, come on. Snargle, how are you feeling about everything? Has this been a good day for you? Has this maybe been one of your best days?
Yeah, it's been great.
Just high on life right now. Ah, yes. It was amazing.
We high five because of all the inner workings of our mental gymnastics that had to be done for almost literal ship gymnastics.
Yes, that is a good way to put it. You're going to be in the Steampunk Olympics next year.
Naomi's a bit sad that she's not high-fiving.
No, come
but keeping it cool. She's pretending she doesn't want a high five, but she just does a little subtle thumbs up.
No, get over here.
I do the thumbs up too, but I pound it.
Yeah.
I scuttle over and a downward yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Come here.
Very good.
And then she's looking professional again, straightening her mismatched armor.
I've done the fun thing, and now I'm all business. Excellent. So you all leave the owl, and you're on the ground floor, and some of the pirates and ragamuffins come up and they say, "Hey, that was really great flying. Well, I've never seen an entrance like that before." Yeah, that was great. You should do that again. Do that every time. Yeah, you know how to do it.
Landed in Australia.
Yeah. That's when I kind of do random accents, I always go Australia or New Zealand.
Or a mixture of the two.
Just wait until you meet Uriah Flint. He's probably going to be New Zealand. So, in fact, now he is. So, yeah, all of these pirates come up and they say, "What are you here for? You need goods? You smuggling? Are you here for the black market? Anything you need, we'll get it for you." Yeah. Lady Blackbird comes up and she says, she coughs. "Excuse me. I'm looking for Uriah Flint." "The king? Well, yeah, he's up there at the castle. I'll take you to him. Heck, I'll tell him everything about what you just did." "Sure, yeah, let's go. Come on. My name's Langtu, by the way."
Hi.
"Hello, yeah, come on." You see, he's got some normal. He's a normal looking pirate until you realize that he's 7 feet tall. It's weird. He's one of those guys that he seems so jovial and everything, and it's just all of a sudden you forget that you're talking to the 7 foot tall giant pirate. As you were coming down the ramp from the owl, you didn't realize his size until you got down on his level. He had started talking to you on your way down. But anyway, he takes you up to the castle itself of the fortress, and he goes to the guards that are standing there. "All right, we've got some daredevils here that want to go see the king. It's approved. Let him in. Come on. You know me. Greg, come on. We're going to go. Yeah, that's right. Open the gate. Come on, yo. Come on." And he ushers you in past antechamber after antechamber. He waves off all of the guards. And finally he's like, "All right, this is the last one. All right, here we are. Okay, you all are put together. Yeah, you're all good. So, something very important you need to know about the king. He likes his formalities. I know Uriah. I know what he needs. Trust me. Lady Blackbird Natasha positions herself so that she's at the lead, and she says, "I'll introduce us. I know the formalities." "All right. Well, don't say I didn't warn you. I mean, you say you know him, but okay." He throws open these wide double doors, and you see sitting on a throne of obsidian, an obsidian throne. All around him are various parts of these steampunk vessels and ships, and there's chests full to bursting with gems and gold and various commodities from around the wild blue. You see him sitting kind of lazily on the throne. And there he is, Uriah Flint, the king of the pirates. He wears no crown, but he's got a very good hat. The best hat you've seen here. And Natasha walks forward, formerly Lady Blackbird, and she says, in her best noble voice, she says, "Now entering, Natasha Suri, formerly Lady Blackbird, at your service, joined by Naomi Bishop, Cale Arkham, and Snargle, pilot of the Owl. We come to you in this your home. Thank you for your welcome, and, of course, thank you for Lang Two's hospitality. My love is I come back for you." Uriah Flint looks over you, and he says, "Hey, you're back. Thanks for coming. I'm really glad you're here. It's been... I've really missed you. Natasha, come here. Give me a hug. Come here. Why did it take you so long to come back? My love, you know, it's Elysium. They would not let me go. I was set up for an arranged marriage to Count Carlo. That guy, he's a wanker. I don't like him. He's bad news. I'm really glad you're here. Hey, do you all want some gold? Naomi, it's good to see you. Hi.
Hello. Looking well, King.
Yeah, I've been doing pretty good for myself. Look at this hat. Isn't it nice? It's much better than the last one you saw.
It's a brilliant hat. I love that hat.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, do you all want to live here now? Y'all want to be friends and pirates and smugglers? What do you all want? What? I mean, Natasha, obviously I'm going to take you as my queen. I've been waiting. How many years now? 6 years, really? Wow. It's been so, time flies. It really does. So glad to be here. So glad that you all are here.
I'm happy to stay with my lady, Natasha. Naomi doesn't like saying Natasha. It feels wrong to...
That sound doesn't feel good on your tongue, huh? Just call her your queen. I mean, we'll have a wedding here soon. It's going to be perfect.
My queen. I like that. And she bows to Natasha.
Uriah looks at me and goes, "We don't do all that kind of stuff here. You don't need to bow. We're all, pretty much equals. We just keep it. I just get all this money. I don't know why they call me a king, pirate king. I mean, yeah, I made this fortress, with my," and his little sparkles come off his fingers, "with my magic. But, this is just a great place to be. It just feels good, right? It feels like home. I see, you were Cale Arkham? I see you eyeing up some of that gold, huh? Yeah, go ahead, take whatever you want.
Yeah, Cale is currently off to the side, sitting in a pile of gold, doing gold angels.
Now, Snargle, was it? I know that you're the pilot of the Owl. I mean, I know the Owl. That's a small little ship. Are you sure you don't want to pilot a larger vessel?
I love the Owl. She's good.
The Owl. Yeah, the Owl. I mean, the Owl is great. If you love the Owl, who's captain of the Owl now? Is it that Cyrus Vance prick? He didn't try and come onto you, did he, Natasha? He did? Line 2, can you go see to Captain Vance, please? throw him in the brig. Yeah, sure. That's fine. He's used to it, right?
Pretty sure.
Hey, Snoggle. Turns out the owl is for sale. Would you like to buy it?
Ew.
Captain Snoggle? That's got a nice ring to it, doesn't it?
I turn to Snargle with 2 handfuls of gold, and I go, "We got a down payment right here."
No, Kale, listen, I say it's for sale. It's really bequeathed upon you by the king. So, you all want to be pirates?
Okay.
At this point, Natasha runs up to Uriah and gives him a big hug and a big old smooch. And he kisses her on the forehead and says, "Man, this is just great. We're going to have a great time. This is perfect. Pirates and wild blue all together."
Just got a headcanon of the Pirate King being Rhys Darby, and I can't shake it. I cannot shake it.
Excellent. So, you all have completed your mission. This is Lady Blackbird. That was a lot of fun. Thank you all so much for playing.
That was fun.
So, one cool thing about the Tales from the Wild Blue Yonder is this is chapter 1. There are 2 other chapters that I have not read. But this is, I think, definitely something that... This is the first time that I've run through this game. And it's interesting mechanics to it. I would be interested to see what it'd be like with a longer session even. But I don't know. How did you all feel about the game? I'm interested to get player feedback as well.
I enjoyed the simplicity of the mechanics once you actually understood which bit did which.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think it had good timing to it as well. I don't know if that was just your DMing style or if the story is set up in such a manner, but it had good pacing to it.
That was all me. I'm joking. They give me obstacles and difficulties to add in at specific times if I'd like to use that as a guide, and I did. There was one for escaping the brig. We did the Sky Squid attack. Depending on how you all interacted with the pirates, we could have done some parlay with scoundrels or bounty hunter ambush, but we hit the 2 big obstacles / difficulties. There's even something here that they've got to fight a sorcerer because Uriah Flint is a flame blood sorcerer. Apparently they've got something built in here where you actually fight with him, depending on how you all set up that interaction, which is interesting. Also, there were the skyship battles. You all avoided that by, knocking out the fighters. But yeah, it was a good amount of fun. I really enjoyed that. And thank you all so much for playing. I hope that you all had fun. I hope that anyone viewing the stream had a great time watching that. I don't know what the chat looks like. I didn't have the chat up. But if you want to reach out to me directly, you can find me at _SquidToaster on Twitter. And I'm also the DM of the Legends of Lanamora podcast, which you can find at Lanamora Pod. You can find that wherever you find your podcasts, on iTunes, Spotify, Apple, or Google Play, Pod Republic, or whatever they call that one. So yeah, you can check that out. Nova, where can people find you? What are you doing these days?
I'm at _Nova Gamer on Twitter. And also I play Seth in Legends of Lanamora podcast, as previously mentioned. And I will be doing some other stuff soon.
Cryptic. Excellent. Izzie, where can people find you? And what are you up to?
There's so much light right now. I'm trying.
You look like you're in a J.J. Abrams film.
Oh my god! Yeah, perfect.
J.J. Abrams loves the flare.
That time of day. But you can find me. I play Yor on City and Snow, which is the Pleasures of Lanamora's sibling podcast. And I'm on Squishy Night on Twitter. Fittingly, I'm going to try to do Art Fight this year, and there's a Team Steampunk, so this worked out.
Excellent.
It's good.
Nice.
Very cool. And last but not least, Kim, first time on the Novi Studio stage. Thank you so much for joining. Where can people find you on Twitter, and what are you up to these days?
Well, thanks for having me. I am on @KGTWrites on Twitter, also on Instagram as well, and I've just started with Novi, so my projects are all up and coming.
Yeah, we've got some cool writing stuff we're looking at for some RPGs, and there may be some sort of podcast in the works. Who knows? Yep. If you want to stay tuned for any of that stuff, be sure to follow @Novi_studio on Twitter. Any new announcements about upcoming shows and new projects coming up are going to be going out through that. And I think that's all of our handles. Excuse me, I'm looking at our thing. Oh, if you have a website, novistudio.io, we have all of our show pages there, so you can check those out. We just recently launched Let's Talk About It. That launched the first episode this past Thursday. So if you are interested in conversations about anything and everything coming from a perspective of love and education, and if you've met Lex at all or heard Lex on any of these live stream events, they are a joy and a wonder, a great person to. They've got great perspectives on a lot of different subjects, and they bring great hosts in for that show itself. So give that a listen. But other than that, thank you so much for tuning in. Unfortunately, we're going to have to cut the stream short this week. We've had some of our creators aren't feeling too good, and we want to give them the time that they need to recover. So instead of pushing forward with some last minute things, we're going to give everyone the time that they need to recover and de-stress from, it seems like, this month, but we're going to give all of our creators time to rest and relax. So the stream is going to be ending here, but if you want to see more, be sure to like all those accounts, and until next time, let's be legends.
Let's be legends.
Let's be legends.
Let's be legends.
Bye.